What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. And this episode, we're going to be previewing the Bulls versus the Knicks that is coming up tonight. Is this when the Knicks and the Bulls rivalry gets restarted now that both teams are finally back being quality teams for what it seems like forever? Yes, the Bulls did have the Rose era, and the Knicks did have some success during the Carmelo era, winning one playoff series, but this is what we are all waiting for, the Knicks game. This is going to be the Bulls' first big test. So we're going to talk about it right after this. All right. So I've had this game marked on my calendar since the season began. I've been saying that this is going to be one of the first big tests for a couple of different reasons. The Knicks and the Bulls match up pretty well. And I think when you take a look at the starting fives, right? Kemba versus Lonzo Ball. Kemba has never been a really strong defender, and I do think I give the benefit there to the Bulls in that starting point guard matchup, right? When you look at like RJ Barrett and Zach LaVine, unfortunately, like Zach LaVine's been moved to questionable, and I know that it was reported yesterday, I even said in the video that he was going to play through the injury, but maybe the Bulls were looking more towards long term and wanting to give him some time to heal up. And just down the whole roster, they match up pretty nicely. As far as like just almost tit for tat in several different ways. Now, the Bulls do have a higher defensive rating than the New York Knicks, but I do expect this to be a game that surprisingly may go back like a lot of the games, Bulls game, and it's dependent upon the defense. The New York Knicks, I believe, are averaging like 118 points per game right now. So it's going to be a huge test to see what the Bulls defense can do, especially when you take a look at like Julius Randle and the fact that Julius Randle, for the people who thought the last season was going to be a fluke, it looks like not only has Julius Randle going to keep that going so far this season, but also his rim defense is getting better. He's averaging almost double the amount of blocks he's averaged historically for his career in this season. And we know that the Bulls' interior defenses maybe our weak point. This is going to be a game, especially like I said, if Zach LaVine plays, where it's going to be a lot of high octane offense throughout most of the game, I think. But I think when we get down, especially if it's close in that fourth quarter, it's really may turn into one of those ugly games like we've seen the Bulls play so far. As far as like not as far as them being sloppy, but as far as like whose defense shows up towards the end of the game. This is a matchup, and I think when you look at like what the Bulls and Knicks rivalry historically meant, and mainly during the Jordan era, and there's still a lot of Knicks fans who still have a lot of hate for the Bulls, and I think it's all due to they look at the Bulls being the reason why Ewing couldn't win a ring, and it's luckily so far the Knicks fans haven't been as ridiculous as the Raptors fans were. At this point, like the Raptors fans are one of the most delusional fan bases in the world. Like you guys saw it. I put it in the video after the game. Like someone saying that the Raptors were the gateway, the gatekeepers to the playoffs. And it's like Raptors fans and Drake fans are really becoming one and the same. And if you're a hip hop person, you'll know what I mean by that. But nonetheless, like really with this next game, there's a couple of things that I'm looking forward to. If Zach LaVine plays, of course, it's going to be how Zach LaVine plays and responds with that hand injury and how that affects him and his shooting. But it's also going to be who else shows up tonight. We know the Knicks have a solid bench, and we know that our bench gets hot, and we have a lot of solid defensive players on the bench. And I know I've pointed out Haize Johnson maybe not being the key, but like me looking out for him. But again, if we're not going to play Tony Bradley, and we're not, and with what the New York Knicks front line looks like, Haize Johnson is going to have to be a big night as far as rebounding and being on the boards. Now, Billy Donovan's been so, I don't want to say use the word chaotic because chaotic has like a negative connotation, right? But it's been different every night on like how many minutes these bench players play. But if Patrick Williams doesn't, if his shoulder's still banged up, but like if he doesn't have a really good defensive night or a rebounding night, and that's the thing, like as much as I disagree with some of the critique and the disappointment with Patrick Williams, I will say that we do need him to show up on the boards more, and that's the difference between him playing the 3 to playing the 4 this year. And so we need to have a really solid, in my opinion, night rebounding. We need to have the nice that we've been having with playing in the passing lanes. And I know we don't have the rim defenders, so to say, but we're gonna have to figure out something to do. And if we can force everything out on the perimeter, I think that helps us in this game. But I could be completely wrong on that. And I don't think that Lonzo Ball is going to have any problem defending Kemba Walker. That's not an issue that I think at all. Even Fournier, if he gets hot, I trust that if Zach's guarding him, he can do his thing as well. But we're going to have to have a night where we're focused in, we're zeroed in, we execute well on the offensive end, because just like we like to get out and run, as many at times as the Bulls turnovers or the sloppiness has been a factor, it hasn't hurt them as much. I think as I think it will hurt them if we allow the Knicks to get us out of our game so much. We have to execute on offense very well in this game, and we're going to need to see that continued consistency from DeMar DeRozan, because there is going to be a period. Don't get me wrong, right? No matter win, lose, or draw, or whatever happens, there's going to be a period in this game where the New York Knicks get on a run and probably the Bulls have some trouble scoring. DeMar DeRozan is going to be key in that if we have trouble defending and we're not getting out in transition, us playing in the half court, we need Vooch to have a solid game offensively as well. We need those players to play good tonight. We need Lonzo as well to hit open shots and to be able to take advantage of whatever matchups he's getting. His ability to switch is going to be key for us the rest of the season. His vision is also going to be a huge key to us. And this is one of those games for the people who question if Lonzo Ball is playing enough true point guard on this team. This is maybe one of those matchups in which we need to see it. Yeah, we know DeMar, but I'm saying especially if Zach LaVine is either hampered or does not play for some reason tonight, Lonzo is going to be even more important than what he already has been. And I don't have any issues or any doubts that he can show up. Will he be given the opportunity to? Will the Knicks defense take that possibility away? There's all those questions remain. But ultimately, I do think that this is going to boil down to, even if Zach is in the game, right? Yes, Zach is clutch. Zach is probably going to get his 25 to 30. That's no question. How everybody else plays around that is going to be highly important when we get into these matchups like this. The Bulls are 4-0. And at this point early in the season, everyone has a target. So I want to make it seem like, that's going to make teams play any more hard against them. At this point, it's Joakim Noah night in the United Center. We need a fucking win on this one, right? We need the Bulls to win this game. And I think, I didn't talk much. I wanted to do a video, but just time got away from me about Joakim Noah and it being this game, the Joakim Noah night at the United Center. We have all the old Bulls of that era showing up. It seems like we've gotten pictures on social media for them. And what better way than to commemorate one of the better Bulls in recent memories than having a game against our old coach in Thibodeau. Derrick Rose is in the building. Taj Gibson is in the building. We need a win tonight. But let me know down below, what do you guys think is going to be some of the keys to the game, especially if Zach LaVine is out? If Zach LaVine does not play tonight, that's another question I can ask you guys. If Zach LaVine does not play tonight, who do you think is going to be the player on the Bulls that has to show up the most for us to still win? And then also, at some point we're going to have to talk about, as much as I know many Bulls fans were calling for Coby White to be traded, if for any reason Zach has to slow down, I already said I don't think the Bulls should trade Coby White, but we need Coby White back sooner rather than later, and we're still 2 to 4 weeks away from that. So, but anyway, let me know down below, what do you think the keys for the game tonight are going to be, and what are the key players? I want to know what you guys think, how we're going to defend Randall. Let me know all that down below. Let's have some conversation about that. But like I like to end every video on, go Bulls. I love you guys. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.